This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. So this week we're talking about relationship versions. We didn't really want to repeat our parents' version of it, their patterns. So we talk about what we witnessed and how we kind of want to do the opposite. Lauren's getting better at accessing her anger. That is sweet. There's some sexy talk in here. Sex times. And the video focus on Lauren's camera is out from the 24th minute to the 41st minute. It's not a partnership podcast without a technical error. Enjoy. To it within my microphone and then within this, and then I keep falling under the trap of, and it's like, no, dude, you need to trust it. So I'm not gonna. We've had a lot of success just shooting out stock 5. I don't mess with it on my end. And then I've got a fist away from the microphone. Hi, welcome to the Partnership Podcast. It is I, Trey. This is Lauren. We had some audio issues. Somebody reached out on a comment section. You were actually very polite.
You were incredibly kind.
You were incredibly kind, and thank you for that, because I have no issue. I have no issue taking smoke or being mean.
Go ahead.
We'll tighten. Thank you. We'll tighten. I don't want to be silenced right now. We'll tighten it up as far as the audio. I keep turning it down in post. I keep, trying to be, Mr. Wizard with the audacity. I won't touch it anymore. Hopefully this audio is fixed. Let's get back to our problems.
Yeah. I love that our audience, subscribers, whatever you want to call them, is so engaged with the content. And it means so much that people will do like a binge listen. Mm-hmm. And so thank you all for your feedback on when you hear like an inconsistency or you see something, because we produce this in-house. We don't have like an editing team.
We're in the guest bedroom right now.
We are the team.
We have a blow-up mattress and this turns into the guest bedroom.
And it's really pretty. But 70 episodes in, congrats, baby. 70 published episodes.
Fuck yeah.
We're learning every step of the way and figuring out ways to simplify the process and get this content out to the world, because we really love talking about it. So yeah, thanks to those who take the time to make a comment and binge listen. You guys are the best.
No, it's a really high compliment. A, it's like listenable, as far as like audio wise, and then B, it's actually providing value. And then when you share with me that this helps, that's cool.
Yeah. Shout out to my clients who are faithful listeners too. And this podcast does bring me clients, which is just a joy. And I hope that this concept of choosing partnership, this concept of centering pleasure in relationships and fumbling through sex and making space and time for pleasure and eroticism in our long-term partnerships is helpful. I really do. We had definitely never seen this modeled, which I think was one of the foundational whys of why we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Never. We were like, what does it look like to respect, protect, care for, nurture, love a partner, and also be freaks in the bedroom?
Yeah, also be accountable when we fuck up in real time.
Yeah.
Have hard conversations.
Yeah.
Awkward conversations. Have borderline contentious conversations. While I hope for me, because I always feel respected, I hope I respect you when I'm pissed at something. So yeah.
I had never seen folks stumble through while still honoring and respecting one another.
When you say folks, are you referring to you and I?
No, relationships.
Oh, okay. Other people. I thought you meant.
I
thought you
anger.
referred to us in the third of folks.
I had never seen folks. No, I mean, obviously, our families of origin are the main places where we learn how relationship works.
Stunk.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I had never seen. In agency, one can disagree and be harmed and react and be disappointed and feel feelings because agency autonomy, while also not vilifying, perpetuating harm onto their partner, falsely accusing. To me, those all just were synonymous. If my parents were angry, they were really, really angry. They were fighting. They were falsely accusing. They were projecting. They were making assumptions about the other person. I didn't know this in the time. Now I just know it. Or I saw my mom getting really, really small, being only a fraction of who she was. or I saw my dad in ego. I don't know. And I was just trained that, you'll get up, you'll grow up, you'll become a married person, and then you just need to submit to your husband and everything will be fine. Anyway.
Stinks. Hot take.
Yeah. I like our version better.
Mm-hmm. What's our version? What do we subscribe to?
Feeling the discomfort in our bodies that arises as we stumble into one another's wounds, accidentally ouch each other, accidentally harm each other. Feel that discomfort and share, voice how we have been harmed or injured, trusting in the person that we chose partnership with to show up as either a version of themselves that we know them to be, or, get this, I'd never thought of this, a better version than I knew. Honey, I have been blown away at voicing really difficult things. I mean, flashback to the is this the beginning of the end episode?
Yeah.
We were just running into all kinds of obstacles and roadblocks. We were leveling up internally and individually and as a relationship. And everything in my nervous system was like, don't upset the whatever. It's not safe, which wasn't anything you showed me. It's just nervous system. And I was scared, but did it anyway. The definition of bravery and courage. And then you blew me out of the water with, thank you for telling me. I will attend to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got to watch and fall more in love with you.
Mm. Because I was going through, because I declared, I finally declared what was going on, and then I seeked outside help.
Yeah.
Great.
Followed through.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Continued to get to know me in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it expanded both of us.
Mm-hmm.
The lies that we believe is, our partner is always going to be this way, fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
It's not safe to fill in the blank. And yeah, it healed my nervous system in a way that is not necessarily yours to do. But I think that there's an amount of healing that we can do on our own, and then a whole nother level of healing that happens inside of partnership.
Yeah.
What'd you say the other day? You said something about, you taught me what family is, or you showed me what family is.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
It only took me this many years to understand that your family is really who you choose for your family to be. There are very few in our society and our culture and people I know, there are very few examples of actual blood-related family that is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't interact with my mother. Mm-hmm. I don't have a strong relationship with my father. My people are the people that I've chosen, but then they've chosen me. And then one of the big qualifications of that is we've seen each other's ugly.
Yeah.
And we've had conflict, and we've come out the other side better. So, chosen family. Whenever I go into the youth center, and then because I do big brother, big sister, so whenever I go in there, I go, yeah, that's my little brother. I'm his big brother, and people are just confused at me because we are not the same skin tone. And so they're these are kids. They're huh? How does that work? And I go, well, I explained to them chosen family. Yeah. They're like, what do you mean? And I go, well, as you get older, there's going to be family that you choose where you're not related. So that's chosen family. So we're chosen family members. And guess what? You can unchoose family members. Because you can also unchoose blood-related family members. where it's like, no thanks. You're not providing me, or whatever the fuck you want to say about it. You can say it or you can not say it, but you're not getting what you need out of it. And then you finally say no more, or no thanks, or set some boundaries. Mm-hmm. Same thing with friends. Mm-hmm. Wish you the best. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it. Wish you the best. Yeah. Easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, I think what's so fascinating, we talk about this in my sexuality education world, is that's simply a boundary. And what's beautiful is the only people who are going to be upset by our boundaries are those who were never respectful of them in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. Narcissists.
Yeah. Yeah. They were already infringing on your boundaries. You just hadn't said them yet, which is something that you were just voicing. When you identified the problem had already been there. But sometimes we just have to identify it. Then we have to stand in it. The boundary.
And then it'll bring out the best or the worst in someone else. And then you observe that. Yep. And you go from there.
And I think in my world, what was fascinating to discover was that by not sharing my needs, wants, and desires, I was the one communicating non-consensually.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. Mm-hmm. So in order for me to practice ethical behavior within our partnership, it is required for me to say, baby, ouch. Can I share how that thing hurt me? Because you deserve to get an opportunity to repair with me, not to be the bad guy inside of my mind. That's not fair. You deserve a right to represent yourself, to apologize, to take ownership, or to clarify. We use clarify all the time, right? To say, babe, I'm so glad you shared that with me. That was an accident. May I share what I was intending? But wow, come here and let me hug you, right? And then we get to clarity. Instead of me inventing this whole story about you in my head, I see it everywhere.
We had a great example yesterday where you were in the bedroom and you were stressed out over something. Mm-hmm. And you said, I'm just so stressed out. And what did I say to you?
You immediately turned. Because I think you came to was this the moment I koala beared up in your arms?
It was, we gave each other a hug, and then I could see you're upset on your face.
Feel the tension in my body.
And what did I say to you? I said, you're within your own agency, or it's like you're the, that's what I said. I go, you're the choice maker. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, did I just offend Lauren? Because it's like, in my mind, it's like, figure it the fuck out. Yeah. Which is like, figure it the fuck out. Uh-huh. And then I'd say not 1 or 2 minutes later, I was like, hey, babe, checking in. Did I ouch you with me saying that? And you're like, no. I'm thinking about this, and this. And I go, great. Yeah. None of that is mine to fix. And we're allowed, we try not to turn each other into an emotional, we don't data dump to each other all the time. We really choose our spots. Mm-hmm. We're allowed to, though.
Yeah. But
I didn't want to come off as, well, figured out.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, fuck, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, and it's good that you bring this up, because this is coming up for a lot of my couples, is that oftentimes they will have, within a couple dynamic, this yin and the yang are kind of drawn to each other. And interestingly enough, one of the beautiful things about our partnership is I could go forever. I have this Energizer bunny battery. I'm a generator. I could just go. It's not so much the life you'd like to lead. Not at all.
Me? Fuck no. I'd punch a wall.
So a thing we have to watch in our dynamic that we learned early on is this observational power of Trey's, wherein he could look into my life and perceive, why did she choose to do that to herself, right? Which is a totally understandable perception, but being the one receiving that feels like, well, motherfucker, thanks, right? Thanks, but no thanks.
And I've gotten so much better. You've brought it to light where it's like, dude, you need to wait to be invited in. Trey, you need to wait. Great, you're great fucking wisdom, blah, blah, blah. Wait, motherfucker, to be invited in. So
that's what I felt, you catching yourself. My body did totally start to interpret it that way as you're a choice maker. And I thought, he doesn't intend harm.
Yeah.
I love to just assume good intent with you. I don't think that's what you were doing. And to be completely honest, I was so in a different space in my head.
Yeah.
I heard you, but I didn't hear you because I had things I needed to be doing. And I was just in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And they were difficult conversations that I knew in my soul, in my gut, that I needed to have. And but thank you. It meant so much that you checked in, not moments later, because talk about giving agency. You gave me agency to say, oh, babe, no.
Or yes.
No,
or babe, yes. I got my bad.
But I got to clear it up with you.
Mm-hmm.
What if you had spent the rest of the day thinking, oh, I offended her, or she's offended at me? We got to clear it up.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. In my mind, I can go down that where it's like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, and there was literally no need. To that point, you're exactly right. I love to share things with you. I don't like to dump things on you that is not yours to fix. This was not yours to fix.
And I don't like to add to your stress.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to add to mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I love sharing things with you once I've pushed through them sometimes. And I will invite you in for your perspective. Sure. But this was not something I wanted your perspective on.
Can I give a highlight previous in the week? Can I highlight some of my virtue?
Yes, please.
Publicly.
We love this. Go ahead.
It was when I came into your office and you were stressed about you were brain dead in your work day. Mm-hmm. And I just came in to say hi, and I was in a really good fucking mood. And I was looking forward to doing like 2 or 3 things. I had just gotten home. So I rubbed your back and I gave you kisses on your head, and I rubbed your back a little more. And I don't think I said a fucking word to you because you were talking, you were going through all this. Like I have so much to do. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm failing. And I was just rubbing your back, and I gave you a couple of kisses, and then I got the fuck out of there. And I went down to my basement and I watched YouTube and maybe got high and putted. It was tight. Mm-hmm. I had a great time. But I am so glad that in my mind, these little fucking light bulbs were firing where it's like, rub her back for 15 seconds more and then leave. That's what I did. I was very happy with myself.
It was so sweet. I'm so glad you recalled me back to that space because, a thing about me is I really love running a good business, and I really love tying things up at the end of my week. I love all of my clients to have their homework assignments. I love to spend my weekend truly in a place of rest. I know often people will be like, oh, just leave it. It'll be there on Monday or whatever. But the only problem is, no, those are actually tangible days that my clients won't have their homework.
Yeah.
And
you have deadlines.
I have deadlines.
Yeah.
And so I like to do it. And sometimes I have a week of a bunch of intakes or a bunch of early work, and that's a little bit heavier of a load because shout out, my clients know in the beginning we do a lot of sexual narrative. We do a lot of narrative work, and that requires this storyteller in me to help paint these narrative pictures and put together my personal goals and objectives for clients. And so it just was one of those weeks. Sometimes I can literally send the emails right after sessions. I'm popping. But that Saturday, and then the volume was down on our podcast. I haven't told you this.
Oh.
Can I share?
Were you pissed at me?
I can share something that's non-virtuous.
Go.
You shared your virtue?
Sure.
Oh, audience. I was livid.
Okay.
Because I had just read the comment from the other person. We had talked. We knew the audio was down on the week's previous podcast. We were very much in agreement of that. And you said, I turned it down in post, and we're like, great, we'll never do that again. So then, end of my workday Saturday, one of the things I love to do is publish the podcast, schedule it to go out on Monday morning. But I don't work on Mondays, and I really try not to work on Sundays so I can have 2 whole days off. So I pull up the podcast to start playing while I'm doing other busy work. And I'm like, Trey's out golfing, having this beautiful day that he's entitled to.
Saturday?
We have Holland. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And being in his pleasure and I'm so happy that he's doing this. my little anti-light bulbs, whatever you want to call it, I go into the closet of my brain and I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, why didn't he test the volume? And I'm bringing up all these different podcasts and playing our volume with these other podcasts, which then wasn't really real later. We did this same experiment later.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was fuming. But I guess, okay, we'll signal virtue with me for a second too. I did resist the urge to send a mean text and instead just put something in the group text that was like, hey, FYI, can we check volume levels going forward? But yeah, I was fuming.
Why did you put it in the group text? You put it with me and Holland.
So that'd be nicer. The accountability move.
It was directed at me, though. Why would you
No,
include Holland?
because she messes with, everybody messes with the volume.
Sure.
Except me. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things because I'm not on the editing team. I'm on the content team. I don't ever touch this thing. We have this really fancy like volume adjuster. And so I thought I would put it to you two because sometimes she's moving it. Sometimes you're moving it. You do that other podcast with your buddy now. I'm sure you guys turn it down. So I was just saying, like, can we just test this? But anyway, I was frustrated because my resiliency was low, not because of anything you had done. And so,
And also, I'm making your job harder.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
your resiliency is low, and also I'm applying more work to your docket.
and then the VPN was screwing with it was an afternoon. So when you came in, I was close to tears just because
It was a technology fuck fest.
it was. And it was because of the two people who were out golfing. And I was like, so my little brain is like,
That's right. We were having a great time.
I felt like the in Home Alone, like when that one like robber like grumbles under his breath.
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Yeah.
But thankfully because of healing and all this like work that we've done, it was out of body. It was probably like those light bulbs in your brain where it's like, this is not worth starting a thing over because these two people are, oh my goodness, you know them to be people who rise to the occasion. So if you, in a place of high resiliency, can communicate these things to them, it'll be okay. And to have that tool, mind-blowing. I know it seems really like elementary, but it's really nice.
Joe Pesci had recently done Casino, and that was Marty Scorsese, where Joe Pesci played a psychopathic murderer. And he would curse so much in that role and the cadence, but he wanted to incorporate that into Home Alone, so he actually kind of created his own murmur or his language. But in his mind, he's cursing, but it's a PG movie. I mean, it's a movie I watched 20 times as a
kid.
child.
We all did.
You know, shout out to the Culkins. And so that's what that is from. It's Casino, psycho, murderer inspired. But
that's kind of perfect because I love this. Because that's kind of the space that my brain was in, which when I am feeling that, it is not a healthy place to communicate in.
Never. And then you're actually experiencing, correct me if I'm wrong, your first kind of renaissance with actually going to anger and rage.
Yeah.
I don't even know if are you at rage yet?
No.
Yeah, but you're at anger.
I'm
You're
trying.
You're knocking on the precipice. You're knocking on the door of anger, which is exciting, babe. So that's fun.
It really is. And to give myself permission to feel it and yet not to, I don't know, dig some grave of anger.
Oh, babe, with me? Honey, you can't. I mean, like, baby, don't worry about that. Just tap into whatever you want to tap in. You know what? You can apologize for it afterward. You're not allowed to hit me, but you can yell, or you could just like turn your shoulders and yell at a wall or something if you ever need to.
Thanks.
And then I'll hold space for it. I got you.
Thanks.
I got you.
Yeah, that was my little Saturday, and I got through it. I chose pleasure. I went out to dinner with my best friend.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, this is going to have to bleed into tomorrow. And it did.
Yeah, shout out to M. She works in local government.
Yep, she does. Honey, what have been some sexual highlights of this past week?
Is it sexy time?
Mm-hmm. Here, should we restart the cameras?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, welcome back. What was your question? You said sexual highlights?
Mm-hmm. Because we've been talking all the, relational stuffs.
It's you, baby. I mean, like, are we vanilla at this point where I like hearing what's going on in that dirty fucking imagination of yours, and then sharing with mine, and then just ravishing each other's bodies? I like it when you bathe. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you then. I'm reading a new book. Shocker. Called Come Together by Emily Nagoski. And we're reading it in my Hemlock Monthly Membership Club. Is so good. It's the science and art of creating lasting sexual connections. And she was just saying that we all kind of want something different when we're wanting sex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's 4 categories. She researched thousands of people. I want you to tell me which of these categories jump out to you. So when you're wanting sex, partnered sex, which of these 4 are you wanting? Connection, pleasure, feeling wanted, or an escape from ordinary life?
Big 3, and then escape's fun when we talk about like verbally talking about fantasy, but like the big 3, especially the third one, you said
Feeling wanted.
my tiny little eyes lit up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So connection, why? In what way does sex or like, and y'all, when we say sex, we don't always mean penis and vagina sex. Trey's like, I hope you guys watch. Sometimes he looks like a little dog. Huh? That's not what we mean? Love you. What does connection mean? Why do you want connection?
Connection, I want to feel your skin. I want to taste it. I want to taste your mouth. And I want to feel what your body feels like.
That's nice. What does pleasure mean?
Um...
Now we're getting him distracted. I can
Okay,
tell.
pleasure would be more like, go, 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 go.
So pleasure is the orgasm.
Just those noises. I'm not gonna try to define it with words. So that. Do you know how like a cool, warm blanket at the same time, like on the back of your head feels? You know, like like that,
Yeah.
where your mind just feels nice and warm.
Yeah.
That's pleasure.
Cool. So like the aroused state?
Yeah.
Cool.
But then the like, I've accomplished it state.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. It's like, Trey, you've done it again. You've done it again, Trey.
This is fascinating. What a fun conversation. Okay. Next was feeling wanted. What's that about?
Feeling desired. That's the best thing in the world. It's the hottest thing in the world. That's why, like, in our relationship, we're allowed to, like, make eyes with the opposite sex and smile. And yeah. Yeah, I had when you were out of town, I was in a restaurant, and I saw a woman, an attractive, blonde, older woman checking me out. And we made eye contact a couple of times. And then when I was leaving, like, she did the side eye, and I caught her, and I did the side eye, and it was like a highlight of the day.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Is it somewhat hot and kind of perverted that she was sitting next to her husband? Sure. Sure. But it's like, ooh, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's going on in her mind, but I can't wait to tell you. And then it's celebrated.
Just
It's not taboo. It's not shameful.
well,
I'm not getting that woman's number.
no.
No, that would be crossing a line. That's not cool. But that little fun little thing right there, that flirty, not even flirty. It's like, hey, I am interested in you. And then it's hard to hide those things as human beings. And then if you know if you know the playbook on how to pick that up, certain hair flicks, certain things, it's very fun.
We call it peacocking in this house.
Yeah, peacocking.
Uh-huh.
I'll hit a peacock. I'll hit. Peacock.
Yeah, you leave your hat off. Your hair looks really sexy.
No thanks. Yeah, I tell her no a lot. This one.
It gets me hot.
It gets her going.
The 2 things that you were mentioning, one is the presence of the third, which is something we talk about often.
Sure.
And that is highly encouraged in this space because this idea that we can be the only ones to let our partner feel wanted is a hell of a burden to have,
I'm not interested in that.
right?
And I also like fully understand that you are a stunning, independent woman.
Thank you.
Like, you're allowed to find other men attractive. That would be nonsense to me. This is just to me, where it's like, I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
I know what jealousy feels like in other relationships. Yeah. It's not fun. Which is a real nice way of saying it.
Yeah. It's harmful. Okay, so rank connection, pleasure, the experience of feeling desired. Which is most important to you?
Let me tier it instead of rank it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The 3 are in tier 1A. And then what was the 4th one that you said?
An experience of...
escapism or something like that?
Escape from ordinary life. Not...
Oh, tier 2. Ordinary life, yeah, tier 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ask me what mine are.
As far as you tiering yours, where are you at?
Or what do I want when I want sex?
Okay. What do you want when you want sex?
An escape from ordinary life.
Ooh, so that's
Number
tier 1. That's number 1. Honey, push into that.
Right,
what does that
Mary.
mean to you? What does that mean to you? And how do you escape ordinary life within a monogamous relationship?
To me, I would say it's like escape from ordinary life pleasure. They are like interconnected, and nothing has ever hit me so hard as Esther Perel's quote, "Sex isn't something we do, sex is someplace we go." And this idea that in the middle of a workday, I could be whisked away to pleasure land as this escape from my ordinary life is beyond magical to me. The idea that I could have 20 different sexual partners in a week while only having sex with my own husband, phenomenal to me. The idea that I could send a slightly risque photo to my husband and feel like I'm flirting with someone that I shouldn't be, novelty to me. I pride myself on being disciplined and building things beautifully and sustainably and ethically and driven, and I'm going to complete things, and I have such a like internal motor. Sex for me and the experience of sex is like, it's like irresponsible Lauren can come to play.
Whoa. Fuck, I never knew that, babe.
Yeah, I never knew half of the things that you just shared.
Okay. How do we use those things to enhance our already great sex life?
Yeah, literally in real time, I've been trying to think about that because, I don't know.
Or do we need as partners to identify like, ooh, fantasy's number 1 for Lauren, and then I need to tap in, or I would like to tap into her red light district a little bit more.
Well,
how can we tap into that?
We have been. And so this was the other thing, ironically, that I wanted to talk about is Emily Nagoski in this book talks about the secret to satisfying long-term partnerships is that they center pleasure and they make sex, they make the experience of sex the third thing that they're focused on together. They make it the party planning. They make it the thing. And we've been doing more of this. Maybe it's because I'm reading this book, so maybe it's happening subconsciously, but we've just been doing this naturally recently of finding these little nuggets of time in the middle of a day. Mm-hmm. And that's it to me. But not only that, you know what you could do? I mean, if you really want a thing, text me about it. Like through the day, when I get a text from you while I'm at work about this thing, like, can't wait to smell you, or a picture of a ribbon that you've laid out on the bed to tie my hands, or it really builds anticipation. What were you going to say?
Whoa. Okay. So I could text you my kind of priorities as well as your priorities. Is that what you mean?
You could just say, not even say, I think that actually less words would be better.
Great. Okay, great. No. I already got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to go to that space.
Oh, can't wait to hear what's like in your dirty mind.
Because, okay, listen, the number one reason women have sexual like affairs, one night stands, is because they're so desperate to escape the monotony of their lives. It's not that they don't love their husbands. Mm-hmm. It's that they are craving adventure and risk.
I don't want this sex. I want this sex. Yeah. Got it.
And so it like titillates something in my brain. Uh-huh. Like my phone goes on this like driving mode when I'm seeing clients. But you pop up. So does the child, which is a safety move. Uh-huh. But so I'll sometimes just be able to glance at my phone in between sessions. And if I just see a photo of what's to come or a can't wait for 3:00.
Or just a picture. Say for like we're setting up. Great.
Because it's the same thing people having a secret affair would do.
Yeah. Love it. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that'd be fun too. Like, say if you get a second phone number on your phone, like Google Voice.
Yes.
We've done that before where I've texted you Google
From another
Voice.
number. That's been so fun. When we're apart, we'll do this a lot. We'll do like the when are you free to get together and tell me more about you.
We'll speak to each other in terms of we're either dating each other or we're in town and like we're seeking a casual hookup.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Or like a friendly fuck. Yeah.
Okay. Can I flip the tables? Is there anything I could do to massage, nurture, enhance those connection, pleasure, and feeling wanted sensations for you?
You're so good at it. So it's hard for me to answer that. I don't know.
Let's just start to do some research in our own sexual experiences. Does that feel fine? Like,
Sure.
I will endow it, to use your word, when we're in our next sexual encounter.
She winked at me. God damn it. And like, Lauren sometimes struggles at winking where like both of her eyes wink at the same time.
I hope you all caught that.
It devastates me. It kind of like resets my brain when I get winked at by my beloved wife.
It's like gonna make me cry. I will allow my brain to marinate in the concept that, oh my goodness, this is so much more than just sex. This is connection and pleasure and allowing him an opportunity to feel so fucking desired. And I will send you all that energy and we'll see if there's a difference.
Great.
Because you are so good at stating what you'd like. What you need, want, and desire for, like helping me plan the thing, for saying, how can we plan the thing? But I'll just see what bringing mindfulness does.
We have an appointment in about 15 minutes. And I said to Lauren, are you in a position for me to take from your body for my pleasure? Meaning, in my mind at least, it's like, you don't know what's coming. But like, are you good with me leading and really just doing what I want? Like using you as a vessel almost. Of course, there's going to be check-ins. I'm going to encourage you to talk to me if anything feels really good or not comfy, anything like that. This isn't a BDSM thing. This isn't a domination thing. I don't have any experience into that, and I'm not really interested yet. I don't have those tools, but that's what this is, where it's like, can I do what I want to do to your body? Consensually, of course. So
that's the space of desire. That's also the space of taking. And what Trey was so eloquently asking me is, will you allow? May I go into that space where I am taking for my pleasure? And y'all, so many of us have negative experiences of people taking from us.
Yeah.
Taking our time.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever his name was at the golf course who came over and just chatted at you, that's a taking. Okay? That is non-consensually taking. And then, yes, there's a much darker sexual side to it too. Many people, I think the stats right now are 1 in 4 of reported cases of women who have experienced sexual assault. And that's ones who've reported. It's most likely much greater. So by Trey asking ahead of time, right, is there capacity in your body, right? The gift I am giving him is allowance of my body. The cool thing for me is I just have to show up. I just have to show up and be in a space, and that's why he asked me ahead of time, to just allow my body to be played with. And this is for his pleasure. I get to take, it is not a place of service. It's a place of allowance. And he is in taking, he's in the doing. And when we can find words to communicate like this, it changes everything. I had some clients say, okay, we've gone through my narrative. Like, what next today? And I was like, What next? New tools. Because we first have to identify our old patterns, our old behaviors, our old beliefs. It's really intrinsic. Like, we got to know what we're changing. Then we develop new tools and new ways to try things. And not everything's going to work for everybody. It's fun. It's an experimental technique, like everything is. And so when Trey asks that too, it's almost like this brain relief of mine. It's not like, oh, what is he wanting? I already know what you're wanting. And sure, do I know that if this allowance in my body gets me really turned on, you're not going to keep me from being allowed to chase my pleasure at some point in the sexual interaction too? No. Then I would have to voice that. But really, in the middle of a work day, I could say, you know what, just take from me. I've already come today.
Yeah, it also helps that I helped her come this morning, and then I told her I'm not orgasming until this afternoon, where there might be an opportunity for play. We'll see. We'll see. I might be busy in 5 minutes. I might not want it in 5 minutes.
Okay, last thing that I really just wanted to talk about is I'm really more deeply understanding the differentiation between spontaneous desire and responsive desire these days. And this idea of crafting spaces to play as being the third thing that a couple focuses on. And it is truly, research is showing, the key to a long-lasting, healthy sexual relationship is the way she describes in the book. I just fucking love. It's not just, okay, we're going to that birthday party Friday night. God, I'm tired before I go to the birthday party, but I'm going to shower, get ready. I go to the birthday party, and then I'm like, you know what? This was a fun time. Actually, I'm really glad I came. Leaving going, glad I went. Good birthday party. Like, saw friends. Wow. I would have been really sad if I didn't go, okay? It is us hosting the birthday party and going to the store, planning the menu, picking out the platters. It is you and I together hosting. And I thought to myself, yeah, Trey and I love hosting together. That's one of our favorite things that we do, right? When you're like, I'm going to do the outside, I'm going to leaf blow, I'm going to do this. I'm like, great, I'm cooking. This is what I'm going to do. You're like, amazing. I'll pick up the groceries. I'm like, great, I'm going to schedule the housekeeper, right? We do this really well. And we both anticipate the event. And we both think about how we'd like the thing to go. That is us simultaneously focusing on a similar thing, taking different roles and planning it, but then getting joy out of the thing for our own different reasons, right? We just heard you share, you love connection, pleasure, and feeling wanted. I love the escape from ordinary life. I might say that that's the same reason I like hosting a party in my house. Honestly, if I was to think about it.
Because it breaks up the monotony.
Thing. Yeah.
New energies come in the house.
Yeah.
Our friends come over. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, tight.
And so I just really want to applaud our recent focus on these creating spaces to play, because what research is showing me is that is actually the planning of this opportunity to play that knits us closer together in the long term.
Yeah, great.
Not even the outcome. And I know that to be true because we're seeing it in real time, because we're relinquishing the goal of the encounter.
Oh, okay. So process outcome. So we're really focused on the process right now, and then the outcome's whatever it's going to be.
Right? When our friends come over, we don't necessarily know what we're going to talk about or what will be the highlight after the night.
True.
We are creating this space for our friends to come over.
Yeah.
We still make the soup. We still vacuum the house. We still leaf blow.
Yeah.
And then we release the outcome.
Yeah.
The joy is in those things. Connection, pleasure, feeling wanted, feeling community, friendship, and an escape from everyday life.
Okay, so for our sex, we build, I don't know, like a container, and then we'll see what comes out of like the spontaneousness that comes out of that. Yeah. Great. Yeah, that's awesome.
You said it best on the last podcast that we created this space after I got home from New York, and who knew if Lauren was going to need to nap, right? But we had 2 hours. We'll see.
Yeah.
And we had a lovely time. Yeah. But we didn't necessarily know how it would go. We brought things to the party.
Sure.
Yeah. We planned for the party. We blocked things out. We said we were unavailable. We created an atmosphere. And then we said, let's see where this goes.
Love it.
So yeah. I really learned some new things about you on this podcast.
Great.
This is great. He's ready to go. Thanks for coming to this
You can
episode.
tell. You can tell when I'm like,
His whole
do I
body
get
changes.
antsy?
Everybody else, I'm going to make it a poll question on Spotify. Tell me if you can also tell.
I start, yeah, great.
No, your body language changes.
Okay. I also have to pee.
Yeah. But when it's funny, when you're dialed in, there's been times where you had to pee, but you're like, babe, can I just quickly go pee and then come back? No, you're just done. It's fine. This was a long enough podcast. Thanks for coming. Remember, these are our opinions and our opinions only. You're entitled to make informed decisions. If you want to know more about this work that I do with people, I would love to chat with you. You can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. I've been telling Trey that working with partners is like lighting me up in a whole new way these days. So if you listen with a partner and are like, what does partnered sex ed look like with her? Well, it looks like a whole lot of autonomy. So you can also go to sexed.com/free consult for that one.
Do you want me to give a shout out to the straight men?
You can.
Yeah, guys.
I don't know what's about to happen.
Straight men.
Marketing by my husband.
Gay men also. We need you. We always need to be on the same side to keep these women down. Guys, so you've had coaches in your past and you've had mentors. It's the same thing in the bedroom or like with your person. It's a sign of strength. It's not the opposite. And then my sweet babe over here, she's chill. She won't turn you into some type of fucking asshole unless you are one. Then she'll point that out, and then you can work on that yourself. Or you can choose to continue to just kind of stay in a place of like Joe Pesci.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So stop being a dumbass and get it done. Thanks, fellas.
A client said this honestly today. Shout out. That why is it that we shame seeking help on these types of things?
It's getting so much less and less.
It really
now
is.
It's cool. It's cool again to be back into therapy.
50% of my clients, y'all, today are men. 50%.
Yeah, it's cool to be back in therapy.
Yeah. And let me be clear.
It's like Bitcoin. It's cool.
And what Trey just said, I'm not a therapist. I'm an educator. And things are going to look different in your work with me. Sure, there'll be some similarities and some narrative in you talking, but I like homework and you'll have work to do because I'm committed to transformation. And if you want to just vent to somebody, you can go find a talk therapist. That's not me. Make your own decisions, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Take what you like, leave the rest. Hopefully you learned something like Trey and I did today. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.